here at Dante's and on the internet. Please put your hands together and make a lot of fucking noise for Clyde Lewis, the Ground Zero Lounge.
Welcome to Ground Zero Lounge. I'm Clyde Lewis, and we're glad to see you all out here tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. We're going to have a very interesting show because a lot of things are going on, and it's like I came in with a plan to talk about something, and then something happens, and I have to immediately throw those plans out. But first, there's some things we've got to get out in the open. First of all, this is a broadcast that goes over the internet thanks to ideocast.com. Give them a hand. We're also being videotaped tonight by a good friend Robert. Give him a big hand here. And I want to remind you that since this is an internet broadcast, and since this is live and we're recording, we have two microphones right here, one here and one here. The purpose of those microphones are for you to get up and say what you feel, and if you want to debate someone, you can always debate them by coming over here or coming over here and talking. Another thing that you need to know is that if you're in the audience and you say something, I probably can't hear you up here because these little boxes here don't play your voice. So you have to be on the microphone so I can hear you, and sometimes the lights are so bright I can't even see you. So if you want to say something, please say it. And another thing I've been hearing a lot of lately, I wanted to say something, but I just didn't. And I'm thinking, you should have said it. You should. And a lot of it, yes, exactly. If you have something, no matter how stupid you might think it is or how silly you might think it is, it's not, okay? This is where we're exchanging ideas and we're talking amongst ourselves about what's going on in the news so that we can be better prepared to face it when it comes in the mainstream. This is what we talk about here at Ground Zero, stuff that's outside of the Stevie. You want to say something quick?
Well, yeah, I just want to mention that, after the show, I was outside with you, and there's a gentleman that came up and said, I'm surprised you didn't talk about this. I don't remember what it was, but it's something you're familiar with. And then we both kind of told him, like, that's what microphones are for. So, yes, I just want to reiterate, please, that's what these are for. You can do what I just did.
Him the big bucks to set him up. Right here, Stevie, give him a hand. He's the guy that does the sound, he does the microphones. So, I mean, if you have something to say, don't always take for granted that I'm going to know about this, because things are happening so fast. I mean, they're happening so, like tonight, for example. I mean, there's some things I'll probably go back to covering, the things I wanted to talk about a little bit. But how many people this morning heard the news about Gonzales by Paul? Okay. Now, okay. So you already know that you have to be very loud so that we can hear you applaud on the internet. So, right? Let me say it again. Gonzales. Okay. Gonzales has stepped down. Yes. And but there's a scarier part to this. How many people heard who his replacement might be? Skeletor. No, well, I guess it's Chertoff Skeletor. Is that who you call? Okay. Chertoff, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Head of Homeland Security, is being considered, he's being considered for the post.
But what I heard is, these rumors were coming out over the weekend, so lots of people knew days in advance that Gonzales was out.
Right.
This happened as early as Friday, did he say?
The rumors were spreading, and what's really odd about it, too, is that does anybody realize the impact of this? About Chertoff being the replacement for Gonzales? Yeah. Some people do. Do you know what it is?
Well, I was just going to say, most of the contested legislation at the moment relating to unwarranted wiretaps or holding somebody in prison without trial, etc., are under the guise or the authority of the Department of Homeland Security.
Right.
So if the former head of the Department of Homeland Security goes over and becomes the Attorney General, then he's the ruling authority on what's investigated, and he's sort of the last line before the Supreme Court on determining what's legal.
So what you just said right now, I can safely say to you, oops, having a little bit of a microphone problem. I can safely say to you that it's that microphone? Okay. Thank you very much. Hold on a second. Okay, we're gonna kill that mic. There we go. Sorry. We're now all sterile. I can. I was anyway. No.
I said we needed it.
Oh, we needed it anyway, right? So what you're trying to tell me is that all of this legislation that has been contested, now Chertoff has had the experience with it. You're saying that things are not going to go through easily, right?
I would say that, and hypothetically, if there were any special counsels to investigate anybody or anything that might be approved, he would be the ruling authority on whether or not that investigation would go forward.
Okay. And what do you want to say?
What's even more odd is this is the man who authored the Patriot Act. I find that pretty scary.
One of them anyway, right?
Well, the main guy.
He was the main guy?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That's scary.
Okay, so what we're seeing then is we're seeing how it writes itself. Am I right? I mean, we've been up here the whole time talking to you about major events going on. We've been talking to you about all the strangeness happening prior to this. We've been talking about Operational Resolve and how the drills have been happening here in Portland, Oregon. They're happening for a reason. What reason? Is because they're moving the people, they're moving the chess pieces in place. If Chertoff is going to be the new head, the new Attorney General, then he is the law. He is going to make the things happen that they're moving fast, is what they're doing. For some reason. Go ahead.
Yeah, I watched the Senate hearings when they called Gonzales up on the Hill, and he has no credibility whatsoever. I mean, Patrick Leahy just laid into him, but says no. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did.
Well, he's the guy that said that wiretapping has been going on since the Revolutionary War. Go back and read the transcripts. In his hearing, he said that. He said that George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, they used that kind of technology.
They didn't have wire back then.
They use a little tin can and the Dixie cups.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the technology of the day.
Oh, I know.
I guess there's a lot that we didn't know about as far as technology goes.
Exactly. Okay. Brian, did I say something? You're laughing too hard? Okay. But seriously, he did say, I mean, if you go back to one of my shows that I did, I had him actually saying that George Washington authorized wiretaps during the Revolutionary War.
What an idiot did. They did.
They did? What?
They did.
I think they
Shooting
intercepted
down
guys that were
homing pigeons, and that was an interception.
intercepting homing pigeons.
Very good. Very good.
On a more serious note, I was going to remind everyone that Gonzales was the author of all the torture memos that justified torturing people.
Sure,
so,
sure.
I was going to say torturing whoever, enemy combatants of this. No, it's torturing people.
Right. So we're not going to torture now, but what we are going to do is we're going to, as George Bush Sr. said, we are going to have the rule of law instead of the law of the jungle in the United States, which is what we call the New World Order. Say that, can you kids? The New World Order? Listen to all these booming Nazis out in the audience tonight. Sieg Heil! Yeah, it's true. Last week I said for this stage, I says, please, give me the swastika because I know exactly who I'm serving when I see that flying above my country. It's true. I mean, these guys are weird, and they are going to implement these Nazi-type tactics. I mean, when you have, what did Hitler call? Hitler called the homeland, back in the day he called it the homeland, we're calling it the homeland, the Gestapo enforced the homeland, the stormtroopers, remember Hitler called them the stormtroopers? Do you remember what Bush said when he was inaugurated for president? An angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm. The stormtrooper. I mean, it's all, okay, listen. It's all metaphoric, it's all freaky, and they use these metaphoric terms. They use these terms, and they don't think that people are going to pick up on them, but they are code for the other people that are listening because they know what they mean. I mean, when he quoted that thing in his inauguration, he says, the race is not to the swift, but to the strong, blah, 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 the angel rides in the whirlwind. That was taken from the book of Ecclesiastes 9, verse 11. Yeah, look it up. 9, verse 11, Ecclesiastes 9, verse 11, he was quoting that scripture. He was using the angel in the whirlwind. The angel, of course, is Lucifer, the devil, the god of war, Metatron, whoever you want to call him. He rides the whirlwind. The whirlwind is symbolic of the destroying angel or the destroyer. When you talk about God, when you talk about secret societies, when you talk about the metaphor for God or the metaphor for the destroying angel, it's always, always the whirlwind. It's always the whirlwind, because the whirlwind comes in, cleans everything out, and then it's purified with what? Fire and water. It's all this weird religious shit. They've been using this stuff for a long time. Why? Because it triggers something in you. Because most of us were in Sunday school. Most of us went to catechism. Most of us had God put into our brains when we were kids, and all of these memes trigger something in you. Go ahead.
Their symbol, their religious symbol, is the moon. The enlightened ones.
The moon.
The moon.
Right. It's the moon child, the moon, the idea of...
They're the enlightened. We're the darkness, and they enlighten us.
Mm-hmm.
They're the people who handle them are the sun. They rule over the light, the enlightened,
mm-hmm.
and who rules over the darkness.
Right.
It's right on your dollar. Is that pyramid? That's their symbol. And your people who are in power in the governments, they are the bricks in that pyramid. They are the moon. And that moon, not the moon in the sky, but that moon is beginning to turn red.
Well, yeah, tonight, for example, what a night to be here at Ground Zero Lounge, because tonight the moon turns red. It's going to eclipse tonight.
Actually, then I saw the later update, it's going to actually turn more turquoise than red. Yeah,
what?
because I saw one thing earlier today that said
so
red.
David Icke was right. It's all going to turn turquoise.
Yeah, it's going to turn turquoise because because the way the atmosphere is in that certain area actually cancels out the red color. And so it'll actually cancel out the red, you know, how green will cancel out red, stuff like that, you know, different color mixes will cancel out.
So what time are we going to see the turquoise moon?
At what time?
Yeah. By 2 in the morning?
2:52.
Screw that, I got to be in bed. What, 2 in the morning, really?
Yeah, it'll be from from 2:52 up until about 4:30 something.
Well, okay, whoever's going to stay up past 2 o'clock and they want to see the turquoise moon, tell me if it's turquoise or red.
Yeah, that's when it goes into
I'm betting on red. You never bet on turquoise. Bad move, man. Never works. What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. Don't vote. Don't put anything on a turquoise moon. That's for sure. Sure. No, and that's another thing too that's very interesting, and that I want to bring up as well. This is what I want to start with, but there was just too damn many things going on. Tonight, of course, is the changing of the moon. But does anybody know what happened on the 18th? What happened on the 18th was something even more strange. And it happens all the time, but it's strange because it's significant. Venus, which usually rises in the night before sunset, now rises before sunrise. The morning star. And usually, and in ancient writings that have been eliminated from the Bible because they don't want people to freak out about it, but in the pre-Diluvian era, what I'm talking about is the era before the flood that everybody says existed and happened, the catastrophe that took place, they started paying attention to the movement of Venus. And as Venus would shift and move over, that's when you start hearing the term Lucifer. It meant light bringer, or the bringer of the morning star, or whatever. Now, whenever they saw that, they realized something was about to happen. And it was written anciently that when the star moved to the morning, that was the warning, and that the destroyer is not far from coming. And to have that event take place last week and then have this event happen in the sky this week, really, really, even though you may not believe it, even though you think it's all, you know, it's just whatever, these people, those people who make your laws, those people who run the world, they believe in that stuff. And they do shitty, crazy things during those times.
Playbook.
It is. It's by the playbook. Exactly. They go by that stuff. I mean, how many people knew that Ronald Reagan was sworn in at midnight because there was an astrologer that said that he had to do that or else he would have died in office. How many people remember that? A few of you, right? Look it up, it happened. Quigley was her name. She told the Reagans that he had to be sworn in at a certain time so he could avoid certain death because he was elected in a year that was supposed to be a year where he was supposed to die. Instead, he was shot and he survived. And they say that it happened because of that. How many people know that when Pope John Paul II was buried, he was buried on the day of a solar eclipse? Yeah? Did anyone know that? It's true. They waited before they put him in the ground because they called him the Liber de Solis, which meant the labor of the sun. That's what they called this Pope. It was part of a prophecy or whatever. And they were doing all these comparisons to him and the sun and how he traveled the earth round and round, and how I guess he also forgave Galileo, which is kind of interesting, and all these other strange things that the Pope did, and then they buried him on that day. How many people know what was supposed to happen on that day but didn't because the Pope had to be buried on that day? Anybody know? Charles and Camilla's wedding was supposed to happen on that day. Why? Because these freaks in the royalty, these freaks in your religions all believe in this weird, shitty astrology, huggy, boogie, woogie, woogie, blah. They believe in this stuff. Now you can believe in it, I don't care. I think it has some effect. Otherwise they wouldn't believe it, and otherwise they wouldn't plan their wars by it. They wouldn't plan 9/11 by it. They wouldn't plan the death of Princess Diana by it. Okay? Yeah, seriously. They would not plan this unless it meant something, unless it had power. And so we're looking now at the changing of the light from the light of divine to the light of Lucifer to the moon turning to blood. I mean, this sounds very apocalyptic, but I'm just reporting it. I only report it. And these people, they act upon it. Go ahead.
I just think it's interesting how the current Bush has been able to hide his occult mystical beliefs, which I think are well known when you look at alternative kinds of news. But that Nancy Reagan, that she and Ronnie appeared to be Episcopal and church-going and so on, when their occult beliefs were just very, I think, very, very deeply held.
Exactly.
And I think that that's the influence that they see that's available, and that the electorate that's available, looking at the evangelical Christian.
What about the Bushes?
Well, I think that the Bushes say that they're evangelical Christians.
Right.
But I
They're truly
don't
not.
think,
No.
pardon me? I don't think they are.
They're
I don't
not.
think they
No.
are. No, I just
No, you
I
see-
think that's something that's a useful tool for them to use in their rhetoric.
I want to point out something to you. You're not going to like what I'm about to say, but I'm saying anyway. All of your leaders know that God is dead. Now, you may not think that God is dead, but they know He's dead. Okay, some of you are applauding, and it may offend you that I'm saying this, but to them, God is dead.
You're right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
God is dead, and they don't care. Because they're the word, they say, and they will get up and tell you, well, God told me to do this, and God told me. God didn't say shit to them. They don't pray to the God you pray to, and they don't adhere to the morals you adhere to. Okay? They bow down before different idols and gods and spirits, and yet they get on TV and they tell you just how God-worthy and righteous they are. And people say, well, why would they hold that inside of them? Why would they keep that a big secret? How is it that they can keep a secret that long? How is it they can put on a front? I give you, ladies and gentlemen, Mother Teresa. Oh, some of you didn't know? Mother Teresa didn't believe in God.
Yes, she's a real true saint.
Yeah. She's a real true saint. She did not believe in God. And if you don't understand where I'm getting this from, some of her letters have been published, and she wanted them destroyed, but they were reviewing them because they want to make her a saint. And if you read them, they are, and they're spinning this, boy. I'll tell you what, I have never heard so much spin in my life. It was a crisis in faith that she had. No, it was a fucking drought. Not a crisis. She came right out and said, Jesus, I don't hear you, I don't see you, I don't think you're there. And I'm getting used to the darkness because you are not coming to me when I call to you. So, that is how you can go a long time holding that in for the longest time that you don't believe in God. And doing what you're doing only because you believe in the goodness of mankind. And that's the difference. Something motivated her other than God, and she always came home to a dark room. Always. Without the light. Go ahead.
Well, I've got to say this, because as an atheist, I always have people say, well, where do you get your morals from? And this will be the perfect example. Morals come from within, not from without.
Very good. Give Brian a hand for that. It's true. I mean, I'm not saying this to diss Mother Teresa. I'm not Christopher Hitchens. I'm not going to be dissing Mother Teresa, but I am dissing those people who want to spin this into something that it isn't. Let's get over this now and realize that she did not see God, feel God, taste God, or even, to what I can read, love God. She loved the people of Calcutta enough to sacrifice what she was doing. And it got to the point where she was doing it for her and for them. Not for God, not for Jesus, and she kept it inside of her all this time. That's how your president can keep inside of him the whole time that he's a fucking theistic Satanist. And that he is killing people just for the sheer joy of killing people. And knowing that it's going to profit him to kick the corpses around for loose change and taking the teeth out that have the gold in them, just like Hitler did back in the 1930s and 40s. And believe me, Hitler was a God-fearing man. He really, yeah, go ahead, he was. I have pictures of him praying. I've seen pictures of him standing in front of church guests. He posited himself in front of churches, making him look like a man of God, and so does George Bush. And everybody's going to back him up on this. Ladies and gentlemen, with the big bullhorn at 9/11, America today is on bended knee. We're going to gather around the cross at 9/11, even though Jews and Hindus and Catholics and all kinds of different other religions died in that damn blaze, died in that fire, in that cremation of care that we organized so that we could bring people together under a false God. That's exactly what they're doing. It's an ecumenical travesty, and they're doing it in front of you, and you're all going, well, I can't say anything bad about God or what they're... Yes, you can, because the God that they are worshiping is not God.
Well, yeah, and like with all this God thing, like, yeah, and everybody, like, there's this, I don't know, idea that anybody that worships God is supposed to be a good person. Like, you know, like Michael Vick, what, just found God today?
Yeah.
Like, you turn around like, oh,
Michael Vick found God.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else is losing faith. The guy who kills dogs finds God.
Yeah, and they're like, wow, that was quick. And
Kill
just
a dog,
today.
find God.
Dog God, you know.
Yeah. I found God.
It's an anagram.
I need to grow up, he says. Yeah, something more than that, that's for sure. Go ahead.
Mother Teresa doesn't have the resources available to keep a secret like George Bush has if he wants to keep a secret. In any secret society, I could keep a secret, but I'd probably, I don't know, I'd screw it up, you know.
Right.
But the president of this country...
I know, he can keep them all. ¿Qué dice? ¿Está hablando? Venga aquí, venga aquí. Venga. Venga.
Yeah, I think Paris Hilton found God when she was in jail for that week or two.
Yeah, for at least a week or two.
You firmar a ti y tú speak too much. Okay?
¿Hablo demasiado?
Bush,
Bush?
ese is good for you. Not the people, not the person, not the check.
Habla en el micrófono solo. La gente puede escucharle. Habla aquí. Habla en él, No, habla aquí.
There you go.
There you go. Bueno. Primero. Hey, digo hola a todas la gente que habla de español primero, ¿ok?
You speak in Spanish?
Sí.
Okay.
Okay. When you speak English, I didn't impress you.
President Bush, you like a check for you. No still walking, no still sleeping, not to do. El Bush check income tax now. Money. Okay. Check.
All he wants is money. We give a blank check.
Income tax.
Income tax.
That's why you're here.
So income tax gives Bush a blank check, is what you're saying, right?
El Bush is living as Estado, Iraq, Muslim, living as pero Bush, ese Bush is good, pero no good.
No, no, no es good. No es bien. Es un diablo él, ¿no? Es diablo, ¿sí?
Es diablo, ya.
Es el diablo, ¿no?
Mata mucho gente.
Sí.
Depende de no, pam, 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 ese out, ebra, se cambia, okay?
Viviendo la vida loca, ¿no es cierto?
Yeah.
La vida loca. Yeah, okay, bueno.
It's so appropriate that you came in tonight.
Yeah, so there we go. If you got anything out of that, what's your name? ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Quieres saber? ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama?
Llama Felipe Calderón,
¿Felipe?
presidente guatemalteco.
Okay.
Yo soy Guatemala.
Okay.
Yo soy guatemalteca Chapín,
Okay.
Colorado.
Oh, Colorado. Okay. Gracias por su tiempo, gracias por hablando. Hasta luego, gracias.
¿Y tú cómo se llama?
Clyde.
¿Ah?
Clyde.
¿Dónde vive?
Aquí en Portland.
En Portland.
Sí.
¿En Centro Portland?
Aquí en Portland, sí.
¿Qué te gusta platicando?
¿Practicando qué? ¿Mi idioma?
Sí.
Sí, me gusta, pero ahora tengo que hablar inglés porque la gente aquí habla en English. It's the United States. We speak English here. Okay? So I gotta speak English now.
No, yo no sé si Juan Pablo II.
¿Cómo?
Juan Pablo II.
Sí, Juan Pablo II, the Pope, yeah. What about him?
Tócrate. Juan Pablo II, Tócrate.
He was the Pope.
Juan Pablo II es en italiana, en
No, he was
Roma.
Polish. He was Polish, he was not Italian.
Hasta el presidente de mexicano a Stevens y todos.
Rudy Giuliani is Italian, but we don't want him as president.
No.
No, that's right. Thank you so much. Thank you. We got to get on to some other things. Thank you. Go ahead. No, we got to go on. We got to get on.
Cuídate, Domínguez.
No, we got to go on. Okay, let's go. Next one. Go.
This is the power. It says here, this is the God right here. It says right on it, in God we trust. We trust this because this, well, I would burn it. Actually, you know what? I will give it to you and you can do it. I know, you can't do it, I know. It means too much. You have faith in it. And they know that. And that's the power they have over you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Ansary from the television show Outside the Box. Give him a big hand.
So everyone here is pretty much familiar with America, Freedom to Fascism. It's a documentary film that woke a lot of people up in a way that some films that previously were released about this corrupt system that we live in today couldn't somehow break through the waves of propaganda they've already been exposed to. But when you talk about taxes, your money, it woke a lot of people up and it made a lot of sense about the IRS code, which was never properly ratified through Congress. So he did pass away after a long battle with cancer on August 24th, 4 in the morning, and he was a great patriot in this movement against this Federal Reserve System, which half of our money, half the money going to the federal system, sometimes some estimates 60% goes now directly to the war. So 50 to 60%.
So Aaron Russo passed away when again?
August 24th, 2007. You can write letters to his family. You can look it up online. I'm sure there's information on his website.
He was a very good movie producer, and he'll be greatly missed. Thank you, Alex, for that. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, keep your eyes on China. Keep your eyes on Russia. They're doing a Peace Mission 2007. It's the first time in Russia they ever done joint anti-terrorism exercises in that region.
Have you connected the dots yet between Chertoff and Gonzales leaving?
We're just another, as you would call it, Clyde, a rotation of the guard. And it's no different when Rumsfeld stepped down.
But this time we have a guy who's Homeland Security stepping into the part of the great lawyer of all time.
Just to give an example of what Chertoff would like you to have to enter the national parks is a passport or a real ID, a national ID card. No longer do they even respect the state ID cards. He wants to actually bring this as something that's a part of the national parks. So right now they're currently doing a lot of recognizance in the national parks. There's a lot of meth cooking, so they say, in the national parks, and some of that is true. So that's something to be aware of when looking at the wilderness as a possible exit point. They already have.
What they're going to do is they're going to use those areas as places where they can be neutral. That's why they want to take it, because they want to be able to hide out in these national areas that are set aside. In fact, they were already basically bordering them off for the UN to be outposts for when they decide to take over.
And when did this take place? Before 9/11?
Yes, it happened before 9/11. It happened during the Clinton administration, ladies and gentlemen. Clinton was the one who made all this happen. It was all a setup for the next phase, and then the Bush administration is the next phase to whatever else you guys decide you want to choose. And that's the trap, okay? And I've been telling you this. The Democrats are not going to save this country. It's just not going to happen. No way.
One last update and I'm done. There have been an estimated 750,000 put options of bet, similar to what happened after 9/11, which of course led to Buzzy Krongard. This took place yesterday or the day before. It's now being reported. So there's major put options. Whoever this anonymous person is in Wall Street who made these put options, this bet.
Now, do you guys know what the put options are? Now, before this is over everybody's heads, prior to 9/11,
just to finish this off, though,
go ahead.
It's a bet that Wall Street will crash between 20 and 50% by the date September 21st.
Okay. The put options are where, put options are actually where if you take a loss, you make money. And there was a big spike in put options prior to 9/11, and then Wall Street crashed. Now, we've been seeing Wall Street go up, and then it took a big crash and went below 13K. When you start seeing this going on in Wall Street, when you start seeing these problems going on, expect some big event to happen within the next few weeks or so. And if you've noticed, housing now has gone down, and they're banking on a disaster right now. That's why they're moving Chertoff into the position that he's in, because then they'll be able to allow, as was put earlier, to allow the legislation that has been stalled to move through quickly, because Chertoff actually supports the wiretapping. He supports all the other legislation that takes away your rights as American citizens, and people are going to be begging for these rights to be taken away, because when the event takes place, we're all going to run scared and go, we don't want to die, protect us from the evil, whatever boogeyman is out there, the evil monster that's waiting in the wings. This is what they're banking on. And we can't be that afraid. We have to prepare ourselves in some way by having food or having drugs set aside or having anything set aside. And we need to know where places we can go to meet with each other and know that community is going to be supporting us, because I don't know what's going to happen in Portland, but we're having the drill right now in Portland. Top Off's going to happen in Portland in October. We're having Noble Resolve right now, and it's a big secret. No one's supposed to know this, but I'm telling you the big secret. It's happening now. People have seen the black helicopters flying over. We've seen guys in camo. They're everywhere, okay? And, you know, you can shake your heads and say, oh, this isn't really happening. We had people here last week who work for the Red Cross, who work for several agencies that are saying, how the hell did you know this was going on? We've been told we can't take time off work because we have to be here in case something goes down. Go ahead, and we'll go to you.
I was just going to say, if you've noticed in the last week or so, we've lost, what, 1,000 points in the stock market.
Right.
Between the Fed, the Japanese, and the European Union, they've pumped in an extra $1 trillion of free money into the banks to prop up the economy. So it goes right along all those lines.
And not only that, you take a look at all these scares coming out of China. That should be an alert for you as well. I mean, hell, I want lead fuel young just like anybody else, right? I mean, they're lead paint on all the toys. Did you hear that the executives of those toy companies hung themselves today? Did you hear about this?
Good.
Yeah.
It's either that or you shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, I mean, this is scary shit, man. They hung themselves and some other guy got shot. The guys that were responsible for setting are all dead now.
The Chinese have executed 100 million people since the Cultural Revolution.
Jesus. It's
Hitler doesn't hold it.
And this is the shit you're not getting in the mainstream because they don't want you to know this is going on. And it's fucking weird. This is the weird shit, people. And it's not going to get on the nightly news because a blonde bombshell can't say it with a smile on her face. And you can't sandwich it between some guy and a taffy pole. It's not going to work. Because people will freak the fuck out. They'll go crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Noble Resolve, they had, I think it was, I Googled all over that, and I couldn't find fuck in the mass media at all. But I did hear on one media outlet that they were at the airport asking people as they were driving up if they could search their cars. And I would have just told them to go.
Go ahead, Alex. What you say? What's it called? Go to this microphone if you can, because that way we can get it, keep it rolling. Go ahead. What's it called, Alex?
KGWA report on Tuesday that Viper teams were sent out by Homeland Security from the federal government to be here for 2 days. Starting Wednesday morning, the TSA had a private meeting where the press was not allowed in. They did announce at the end of that report that there may be mandatory or random vehicle checks.
Right.
Around the airport.
Around the airport?
I would have told them to fuck off.
Well, you can tell them to fuck off. Hey, good luck, yeah. Somebody just yelled good luck. Yeah, good luck. I mean, and not only that, but I had a friend of mine, I'll let you say something else, man. I had a friend of mine who told me that she was out and she actually saw soldiers in digital grade camouflage. The freakiest thing, I don't know if you've seen this, you can't see them. You can only see their heads because they move. But you can't see them. They blend in because your eyes cannot fix on pixelated camouflage. It's pixel. So they blend right in perfectly. It's the greatest invention ever. And so they can be standing right there and oh, hello, I didn't know you were there. And they got their gun. Ooh, hi, you got a gun too, and it hurts.
That's your stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's your stormtroopers. Go ahead. Alex, go ahead.
Well, you were onto something earlier, and in previous broadcasts, we talked about investing in hard currencies such as gold. But other than gold, there's a couple other things I think people should be investing in other than dehydrated food. And if you look at other things like commodities they can barter with if cash has no value. And it even comes down to things like liquor, cigarettes, coffee, salt, spices, sugars, the list goes on. There's a lot of things that we take for granted that are in the stores right now. If a crisis goes down, they're going to be looted immediately. And there'll be nothing. Water filtration systems is key as well.
Paul, Gerald, we were all together and we were having dinner one night and I had said, you can save all the beans, potatoes, and wheat you want, but goddammit, I'm hoarding salt and pepper.
No doubt.
Because I'll make your beans and I'll make your rice taste damn good. And tobacco, tapatio. We have tapatio. You gotta stock up on cock sauce too, that rooster shit.
You guys forgot one thing about that. Under the Patriot Act now, people who keep those things can be considered terrorists.
What, if I keep a bottle of cock sauce, I'll be in big trouble?
A refrigerator full of sugar, like you said, salt, cigarettes, you can be considered a terrorist.
They're not taking my rooster sauce.
It's right in the Patriot Act.
I put that shit on everything.
They can take that from your shelves.
It's called IWAC, in case I'm with Al-Qaeda.
It's called
IWAC, I call it, in case I'm with Al-Qaeda. Unless you're with Al-Qaeda, what's the problem? We're just human beings.
Well, if I'm ever with Al-Qaeda, I want to make sure I have some of that sauce because everything they eat tastes like shit.
My ancestors fought in the Revolutionary War and every war since. They fought and died for this country. Why should they harass me? I think one of the most mysterious things going on in the airports, and I've been hearing this in the media quite a lot, is they have specially trained individuals who are roving the airports looking for people with mysterious behavior. What is this mysterious behavior?
What, you got mysterious behavior down there, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear about your mysterious behavior.
In the airports, they're going to actually observe people if they might be a little nervous. Now, they have proposals for the new planes to have cameras built in. So if you're highly agitated or if your behavior is something that's, questionable to them or the person viewing the camera, it can be flagged. Mind-reading cameras, ones that can actually map out your mind. I'm telling people in my audience that they will be in the downtown Portland area soon by the year 2009. I'm saying that because they've already announced to new scientists in the London Guardian that they have a $23 billion grant, Homeland Security, for these certain cameras that can actually scan your mind. And they say to analyze if you're someone that's likely to commit a terrorist attack. Nervousness, things of that nature. These new cameras they're going to put in place in the downtown bus mall is a program that's being overseen by Homeland Security. So we have drills going on, and we have the new bus mall. We have the head of the Federal Transportation Division directly working for Bush in Portland just a couple months ago. It's going to be approximately $500 million to build. 60% is paid by the federal government.
Don't listen to him, he's crazy. Just kidding, Alex. Thank you so much.
So, my only comment is, so now they're going to stop everybody who's going downtown for a job.
One of Angel in the World, I think, is Dick Cheney, based on the Time magazine cover of the storm clouds hovering over Dick Cheney that just came out earlier this year.
You think it's Dick Cheney?
Yeah.
He's the angel in the whirlwind?
On your dollar bill, there's a pyramid, right? This is what the pyramid is right here. Right here. Check this out. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament above heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and seasons and for days and years. I promise you, if you know what that is, that's that pyramid on your dollar. That separation from the capstone, that's the sun above the moon, which is the bricks. And it sits on you, the darkness. And you can move that mountain.
Okay. Praise the Lord. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There is no God higher than truth.
Go ahead.
I'm Glenn Owen for the 9/11 Truth Lines. We have a few copies of the Free Press. Cheney determined to strike in U.S. and has some other things about how you can't. I'm not describing it very. It's very good. We've got a few copies. We'd like a donation, but if you need it, come get it. Thanks.
Because he's got some information about these Luciferian
interview who's a little bit
nervous,
ready to go for the
interview. Hey, don't wet your pants downtown. They'll shoot your ass. I think you're nervous. Go ahead.
Admittedly, that would have taken care of that nutty lady astronaut.
Yay!
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start making some tinfoil hats and selling them over at Saturday Market.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help.
I think they make a lot of money. I think you'd make bank on those things. I think you need the tinfoil hats for sure. For sure. You see, you can't just write this. I mean, it writes itself. I mean, one of the things that really got me going too was that this whole thing about Mother Teresa again, the whole idea that she didn't have faith, and she lost her faith. There are a lot of other people that are losing their faith too. How many people hear about Owen Wilson? Yeah. He tried to commit suicide. Yeah, he did. And they won't say why, but we're looking at a bunch of people right now that are troubled. I mean, they are very, very, very troubled right now because they just see, they don't see any hope. That's what they don't see. The hope is in voicing what is about to happen so people aren't shocked by it. So when it does happen, oh, we heard what we need to do. We need to do this. We need to act. We need to not fight. What we need to do is work together in harmony to make sure that everybody's safe, that everybody is okay, and we have to be careful about who we trust because I'll tell you right now, Homeland Security is talking to each and every one of your priests, your pastors, and your evangelists because they want you to follow what they say, and they will use your ministers, your priests, and your pastors to enforce this.
Romans 13.
Romans 13, exactly. I just turned that to the audience. They're going to use Romans 13 for the Bible. I mean, I know tonight sounds very religious, and that's okay, because this is what they're using to get people to comply. Romans 13. Do you know who used Romans 13 to get the people to comply? Adolf Hitler did. He used Romans 13 and he used it as a tool to say, whatever the Fuhrer says, God wants. So don't you dare uprise against him, because he is speaking for God. They did the homeland oath every time. I swear to God that I will uphold the homeland, I will secure the homeland, and I will protect with my life Adolf Hitler. They would chant that. Children would chant that all the time. No different than it is to say, I pledge allegiance under God. Using that God word to get you to be all mesmerized, saying, oh my God, I can't do anything against God. No, you need to understand that your personal God is not the God of the state. And I am not trampling or stepping on the feet of any of your personal gods. Whoever you worship, whoever you're spiritual with, whoever you're connected to, I'm not stepping on. Well, you go ahead and read that. I even got my glasses on. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes here. Find out where your spiritual core is and you adhere to that spiritual core. It's important that you do that. Go ahead. What are you reading anyway?
Romans 13.
Romans. Where did you get the Bible in this bar?
It's in the backseat of my car.
Oh, you carry a Bible with you everywhere you go?
I got the playbook.
I got the playbook. I know what they're going to do.
Oh, he's got the playbook. Okay, go ahead and read Romans 13.
Well,
I can't believe somebody brought a Bible to the damn lounge. This is a bar for crying.
I thought that thing would burn up as soon as it entered the
door. I thought it was going to burn the Bible.
I thought it would just burn itself as soon as it entered this threshold.
Right. Go ahead and read that scripture. People are dying to know. What, you finding something else? Oh, and here we have Alex and Romans 13. Chapter 9, verse 9. Is it verse 9, I think?
I don't know. Let every soul be subject unto the highest powers, For there is no power but of God, the powers that be are ordained by God. I don't think this is the right part.
It is.
Whoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God, that they shall resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. And then also, I thought it was more subservient to government, give Caesar what is Caesar's. I was familiar with Romans 13.
Right, well, that's Romans, so of course that was written by Paul.
Yeah, come on, find the right verse.
That was written by Paul, so, you know, it depends on how you feel about Paul. You know, a lot of people don't like Paul. I don't personally like Paul myself. Because Paul is kind of like the guy who believed in the Santa Claus Jesus, and I just don't know if he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows if you've been jerking off. I don't know. Oh, do you want to hear? Okay, read Ecclesiastes 9:11. Why don't we just have scripture, Chase? Why don't we just have scripture?
I want to read Revelation 9:11.
Revelation?
You will love this, people.
This is crazy. Anyway, while they're looking up scriptures and I'm cringing, go ahead, Brian, you gonna say something? You're an atheist. You know, come on, save the day. You're an atheist. Say something.
Well, I'm also an ex-altar boy, so...
Okay, what do you got?
All right, Revelation 9:11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit.
The angel in the whirlwind.
Whose name in Hebrew is
Abaddon.
And in Greek,
Apollyon,
which means the destroyer.
Yes.
Destroying angel.
And
The destroying angel.
One woe is past, 9:11.
Two more come.
Behold, two more come.
Yes.
Hey,
Haven't I been saying that?
remind me, break down angel in a whirlwind for us again.
I already did.
Angel in a whirlwind.
Oh, angel in the whirlwind. Angel in the whirlwind. Angel, Bush talked about the angel in the whirlwind that directs the storm. He said it is inaugural, which is code for the Ecclesiastes scripture. It says the race is not to the swift, but the strong. There's an angel riding the whirlwind directing the storm. It's about the whirlwind. It's talked about in the Old Testament. The whirlwind is God's judgment on the people, and basically it's there to strike the city down. Go ahead.
Just quick on a term.
Fuck jobs are running our country. But how appropriate, I guess, when you have the stars change and the moon turn to blood, people whip out Bibles at bars. Especially in a place called Dante's, right? Yeah.
Dude, it's not
You know,
a Bible.
Dante, devil.
Playbook.
Yeah, well, still. I mean, Stevie, are we going to be okay with the Bible here?
I'm not real nervous.
There will be an earthquake after the show. God will show his wrath. In all seriousness, though, and I really am glad you guys came out tonight, because I think, give yourselves a round of applause. It's been a great show. It's been a great show, and every week I come out and I do this, and we rally together, we all talk together, we get this stuff going on. I really am glad that the crowds get bigger and bigger, because you cannot stop ideas. You cannot, because ideas are bulletproof. You cannot stop ideas. You cannot destroy the art, which is that which you speak. Always remember, the thought starts here, it comes out of the mouth, and then if the thought goes from the mouth to the hands to the action, you are causing that action to take place, and you're using your voice as a weapon of choice. It's important that you speak, and you speak out loud about the injustices that you're seeing. Soda? Oh, gracias. Gracias. Gracias por eso. Gracias.
No gas for me.
Gracias. Gracias.
No gas for me.
Okay, gracias. Anyway.
No gas. Nice to see gas.
Thank you. What I'm trying to say, though, is there is hope. And that hope is the truth. And I'm not talking about the truth that sits well with you. Many people, when they hear the truth, it's just basically stuff they already know. What you need to do is you need to hear the stuff that you don't already know. The stuff that's uncomfortable. And you need to find out what it will take you to look it up, figure it out, and make it comfortable for you. Because it's going to get painful. They're obviously moving things in their direction. It's up to us to move things in our direction. It's up to us to prepare our families. It's up to us to prepare those we love. It's up to us to prepare our neighborhoods. If they don't want to listen to you, and if they think you're a crackpot, fine. Whip out that Bible and talk to them about Noah and the Ark. Whip out any article about the pre-Diluvian era, about the stars changing and the world changing and the moon turning to blood and all this other apocalyptic shit that we're going to be living through tonight. People are going to go, whoa. But still, the reason why people go, whoa, is because it's in you. That which is true is in you. That comes at you comes from within you. So if you want the change to take place, you have to want it bad enough that it will come at you. That you will be able to handle it. You want it bad enough, you talk about it, you bring it up in conversation, no matter how crazy you may sound. Because in reality, you may sound crazy at first, but then people start going, well, it was like he said. And they're all looking around, yeah, he did say that, didn't he? I know a lot of people who've been to these lounges who've written me and have told me that they bring up things we talk about here at the lounge, and they're looked at with dirty looks and crazy stares, and they're made fun of, and they get all kinds of shit for it, and then you know what happens? They're right. And it's not because I'm up here talking about it, it's because we're all here talking about it. We're like a secret society that gathers every week and talks about this stuff, and we know before they do. It's like Brian said, we were talking about this long before Gonzales stepped down, but then putting two and two together and saying Gonzales, Chertoff, Homeland Security being the new law, Homeland Security enforcing all the legislation that makes you lose your rights. We knew this was going to happen, but what did we do? We sit here and we need to start saying it more. Calling into radio stations that you don't agree with. Call Lars Larson on the telephone and say, hey, I don't agree with you, but let me tell you something. This is how I see it. Call other radio shows. Write the editors of the newspapers. If they don't print your article that you write, send it somewhere else where we'll see it and I'll hear it. Every Friday, every Monday, every Wednesday, I come here and I have this group. We get together, we talk. I get together to do my shows, my continuing shows on Wednesdays, and on Fridays I do my live shows. I'm not making any money doing it. I'm not making a bankload of money. What I am doing though is I'm doing it because somewhere, someone is going to post it on an internet site, somewhere it's going to be heard, somewhere it's going to be felt, and somewhere somebody else is going to say, this needs to be heard. Right here, right now, we're being heard on the internet and seen on the internet, and I don't care how crazy people may think I sound or that you sound. We're getting people going to these shows online, and all of you are sending out your messages to these people who are listening and watching. Give yourselves a hand for that. I'm serious. Go ahead.
Yeah, it does come down to all of us. And when there's a white elephant hiding in the room, fucking point it out. Talk about it. It does get hurt.
And we all have different interpretations of what that elephant is, but it's important that we all say it. Now, before I close the show, is there anything that I've overlooked tonight that somebody wants to get up and talk about? Because when I walk up this stage, I know there's going to be a number of people that are going to say, Clyde, you should have brought this up. Clyde, did you hear about this? Clyde, did you hear about that? And I'm going to go, no. He said, well, why didn't you talk about it? I'll say, I didn't talk about it because I was unaware. So now's your opportunity to get up and start saying something. Go ahead quickly. Go ahead and get on the microphone so you want to talk about it. Go ahead.
Van Halen.
What about Van Halen? Are they regrouping?
Yes! David Lee Roth is back with them. They're touring.
All right, let's hear it for Van Halen. I did bring it up. Go ahead.
The 9/11 Truth Group in Portland meets on Wednesday evening at Laughing Horse Books. We have a website, 911truthgroups.org/Portland. I'm handing this stuff out. We'd love to see you on Wednesday. Thanks.
Okay.
I want to know if everybody was happy to hear that Don Imus got a new cable gig.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, on the RFD network apparently, which is literally some rural network that does like cattle auctions and...
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding at all.
So Imus got a gig on a cattle station.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna get a gift. Woohoo! Still waiting to get my gift. Anyway. Anybody else? Go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say, oh, you gotta stick around and convince this guy to sing Anarchy in the UK one more time. Last Monday, he sang it, and he fucking killed it. You don't need to stick around and see it. You gotta sing that again tonight.
I wanna sing Anarchy in the UK. I'll sing it again tonight.
Yeah, you guys gotta stick around and see this. He killed it.
Last week I sang Anarchy in the UK with Karaoke from Hell, and everybody thought it was so. I changed the words a little bit to make it fit what's going on in the world. So stick around. I'm going to be singing that with Karaoke from Hell tonight. Go ahead.
Just really quickly, I think it's kind of interesting that you're bringing up the whole thing about the security cameras on the new transit mall, since the only thing that TriMet's saying about it is, oh, well, the buses are going to work better, and oh, we're going to have trains. It's going to be so great and wonderful. Exactly.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I hear bullshit. Do I hear another bullshit? Do I hear a whole crowd of bullshit? Bullshit! Okay, great. Anyway, once again, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Karaoke from Hell is coming up next. This has been Ground Zero Lounge. Good night from Ground Zero Lounge. Thank you so much.